97.1, good to have you aboard on a Monday. Oh, Rieger. Poor Rieger.
Hi, Mike.
We heard him in the postgame. Poor guy. Let the band take it out. Go ahead, Sammy. Okay. Let's do some business. We got to talk about your cute little football team here and kind of figure out what we have left. I think it is truly one of those deals. You get a lot of people who overreact, say season's completely over. I think you get a number of people who just sit there and go, well, they'll be just fine. The truth, it does lie in the middle. No, I don't think the Lions' season is over. They still have something that, about 28 or 27 teams be jealous of, which is you have your destiny in your own hands. And whether they're able to pull it off or not, that's really what's in question. Now, Rieger will clearly have different thoughts than I do. I think Rieger certainly his inner fan got the best of him here.
It's embarrassing, yes.
We're going to reel him back in. But here's what I would ask you as fans. Was yesterday a reality check? Was yesterday the reality of the situation? Meaning, you played a good team on the road. I don't think the Giants are great. I don't think there are many great teams. But let's all just go under the premise the Giants are a pretty good football team, and you haven't played many of those. And you got dominated. You come and don't get me started on Caldwell. How stupid was it to throw the ball with 15 seconds to go? Stafford takes a cheap shot. Then you throw again with 5 seconds to go to center. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's irresponsible. It's malfeasance. But the point is, overall, you got dominated. You want to add 40 yards at the end of a game to center, go for it. You got your ass kicked. The Giants choked the life out of you. And that's with Stafford looking pretty good. The finger didn't seem to limit him. So I'm asking you the question. It's basic. Right here, right now. Are you hopeful or are you hopeless? I'm not going to come on the air today and tell you your season's over. It's not. You have a home game against the Green Bay Packers. That looks to be your out. The Dallas game, if Green Bay beats Minnesota, and I'm not trying to be rude, the Dallas game's meaningless. It really is. Because this is going to come down to you versus the Pack. And it's going to be at your place. And your quarterback is seemingly healthy, and it's going to be indoors in your cute little protected environment because you can't play real football like everybody else. So I don't want to hear about how the season's over. I think that's a loser's mentality. Now, I did offer to you and said, yeah, losing the last 3 is a possibility. It would be a huge collapse. But I do not subscribe, and I heard Doug talk about this, and then this is what makes the world go around, but I couldn't disagree with Doug more vehemently. I can't understand how you go on air and sell that this wouldn't be a collapse. Oh, well, they're not favored in any of the games. Excuse me, I don't care. You're telling me that if they're a 2.5-point underdog in the last game of the season, that gives you license to lose it? That gives you license to go from 9-4 to 9-7, to go from the 2 seed to the outhouse?
Right.
That's outrageous to me. I don't live in that world.
It doesn't really work like that, no.
No, it doesn't, Matthew, and I appreciate that. Listen, I want to throw it out there. I mean, you got your ass kicked yesterday. You really did. Your defense did everything you could ask. It still wasn't good enough. Your offense was pathetic. Whether that's a Travis Swanson issue, whether that's Theo Riddick, we could talk about it. But I'm asking you as you come to the table today, you've played 3 good teams. You've lost all 3. So I'm asking you today, are you still hopeful that they're going to get this done? Or are you hopeless? And I know, Rieger, you're in the latter. You came on the air yesterday and said flat out their season's over. They're going to lose the last 2 games. I'm an idiot for buying in. I want to throw the number out, and I want to hear from you because I know you have a different perspective here. 248-539-9797. Rieger.
Yeah, you're going to call it flip-flop. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. However, I just call it seeing the reality. Yesterday was the chance, right? Like people like you guys talked about stats. You talked about the schedule being easy. You talked about metrics. You talked about it all catching up to them. And I chose not to believe because of the last 8 of 9 weeks, right? And then you look at yesterday's game, and it was the first of the 3-game gauntlet, and you don't score an offensive touchdown. You look anemic offensively. Your game plan was horrendous. And once again, you couldn't stop Eli Manning, who has not been good the last couple weeks, really all season long. So you add it all together, and this is the first and probably the easiest of the 3 you have left, the Giants, the Cowboys, and, of course, the Packers. And, yes, I feel stupid. If you want to call it flip-flop, Go ahead and call it flip-flop.
I don't think you need to feel stupid.
I feel so... There it is. Come on, let's everybody... I feel so embarrassed. I thought I did myself... You know what it's like, Michael? It's like the ex-girlfriend, right? That you want to get back because she's hot, right? And she maybe has a good time, right? But you really want to get back with her, but you know you shouldn't trust her because she's just going to cheat on you. So you take a good long time. You make her earn it back, right? And then finally, when you can't take it anymore, you're ready to jump back in bed with her. You're ready to get it on. You come home and you find her doing it to the mailman. That's what it's like. That's what the Lions are like. And that's how I felt yesterday. So if you were listening, I was emotional.
I want you to address what I've said. I believe that game against the Pack at the end of the year, if it's not a coin flip, it's slightly tilted towards the Packers. I don't view it as unwinnable. I don't view it as impossible. No, I don't believe you're going to Dallas and winning. Dallas is playing to clinch the NFC East. You're not going to their place and winning. I think right now Vegas has you as almost an 8-point underdog. Look, I'm asking you. I'm giving you a chance 24 hours later. I know you were emotional yesterday.
Yes.
You were doing the postgame.
Yes.
Is it hopeful, or are you still going to represent the hopeless opinion that their season is over and that they will, not could, they will lose their last 2 games?
Yeah, it's hopeless. They're done winning for the season. And the only way they get into the postseason if 9-7 gets them in. Mike,
I got to keep teaching you.
No,
it's
Mike,
unbelievable.
Mike, I don't know how you get on these airways right now. Okay, and
Why?
I know you're not from here. I know you're celebrating a victory of your G-men, but I don't know how you get on these airwaves and preach anything about hope after watching yesterday's game when they finally play a good team.
Because I'll tell you why.
Yeah,
because you have a home date against the Packers. Look. I'm not
a Packer team that's much better than they were 5 weeks ago.
And I understand that. And that's part of the issue is that the Lions, with that game against the Saints, it proved to be a real anomaly. They did not look good against the Bears. They got lucky to win that game. They did not look good against the Giants yesterday at all. Anyone who wants to call in and tell me the Lions looked good yesterday, it'll be a very short phone call. Please don't do that. Don't insult my sensibilities. Just don't. You didn't look good. You want to criticize the game plan, tell me you ran the ball too much, I actually would cop to that and tell you, yeah, maybe a little bit stubborn.
You have to check the report.
I thought Stafford looked very good. Now, Caldwell, forget it. Caldwell's a complete embarrassment. For those of you that wonder, and I will highlight it today, I know a lot of people are big about apologies and do you want to take that back and, remember what you said about Caldwell. Okay, what I have said to you is this.
He's not that great.
No matter how many games he wins, no matter what he does here, it'll always come back to Jim Caldwell hurting you with his inability to manage a game correctly. Now, whether it was his timeout usage at the end of the first half, i.e. non-usage, going to the locker room with all 3 of them, whether it would be not challenging a blatant drop pass, maybe the worst call in the NFL yesterday, and him coming to the podium and openly telling you that he didn't challenge it because it was, quote, only 4 yards.
Well, then today you missed it just to butt in. He also said when you're on the road, it's a disadvantage to the road team to be able to challenge something, which is the most obscene thing I've ever heard.
Right. You have a staff. Everyone who was on the field could have easily identified it was a drop. Jim Caldwell is not a big game coach. He's always going to cost you. He's always going to hurt you. I know some people wanted to debate, and I heard a couple people call your show last night as I was driving around saying, well, we should have kicked a 58-yarder or gone for it instead of punting from the 40. I thought it was a reasonable discussion. I won't die on that hill like I will not challenging a play that you know you'll win or not using the timeouts correctly to give yourself even more time to try to do something, or even at the end of the game. I would argue the most offensive thing that Jim Caldwell did yesterday was with 15 seconds to go, no timeouts left, and down by 11 points, you opted to throw a pass and allow your quarterback to take a cheap shot. And he did. Matthew Stafford was forearmed to the damn near neck out of bounds. Why are you running a play with 15 seconds to go? You have no chance to win this game. And you know what he did after his quarterback took a cheap shot? With 5 seconds to go, he had him drop back to pass again. I thought what Jim Caldwell did at the end of that game, again, it's malfeasance. These are the reasons I don't want this man coaching this football team. And you are the head football coach. All you need to do is utter into that microphone, Jim, Bob, Jim, whatever they call him.
Lay off. We're done.
Jim, we're done. Victory formation. Take a knee. Let's get the hell out of here. And instead, your quarterback got popped. These are the days I speak, and you wonder why I don't like your coach. It goes well beyond his miserable treatment of the media or this unbelievable false sense of accomplishment he has. It is really about nuts and bolts game management and his inability to do so. So
I'm going to keep coaching until they turn the lights out on me.
well, I wish they'd turn the lights out on you like they did Gus Bradley. But
Okay.
2 more weeks, Jim. 2 more weeks.
no, I disagree with it. They're not getting rid of him.
I don't know about that, Michael.
The conversation we had is a privileged one.
Thank you. That'll be all from him. But I want to hear from the people.